Welcome back to Awakened Exchanges. I'm your host, Jay Rich, and we've got another special episode for you today. Before I go any further, I want to thank Sean Shumway, yes, from episode 2, Sean Shumway, for finishing our intro and ad music for this episode. I think it makes the episode feel even more legit to me. While that was a huge pick-me-up this week, I unfortunately don't have that backlog of material like I had hoped to before going on air. And with harvest season taking up so much of my original guest's time, it's been a little bit of a scramble to get these episodes out. Once again, I'm recording this intro on Wednesday as I try to make sure to hit our upload deadline tonight and get you this new episode on time tomorrow morning. I guess I'm now aware that podcasting can be this fly-by-the-seat-of-your-pants proposition, but I sure hope I can build a little backlog this winter and get myself some breathing room. That said, we've got some special episodes for you coming up for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and especially Christmas. I'm going to leave them mostly secret for now, but I just want to say a special thank you to a Twitter friend for making a Star Trek Christmas special a real possibility. I'll tease more information as we get a little closer to recording that. Before we get to our interview today, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, but we all need to get out and vote. We're all Americans and we deserve to have our voices heard. If your side doesn't win, then maybe we should stop thinking of it as a competition and start thinking of it as plain cleanup. If you want America to actually survive this, we need to drain that swamp. We need to root out corruption in our government. Even though that was one of Trump's campaign promises, I cannot believe that he actually said he was going to do just that. He said that he was going to bring us back a government for the people, but did anyone really believe that? He said he'd be too busy working for us to see any of his properties, let alone visit them more than ever, while diverting public funds to hold events on those properties and bring around his Secret Service agents, among others. Does that really sound like rooting out corruption? According to the Washington Post, the president, who is exempt from government conflict of interest laws, refused to follow the practice of his predecessors in severing ties to his existing businesses or putting his assets in a blind trust. He retained ownership, ostensibly putting his 2 adult sons in charge while still enjoying the benefits of any profit. Their research even shows that he spent 1 out of every 3 days on one of his properties. I don't know about you, but I don't spend a third of my year on vacation. He's used nearly $1 million in taxpayer dollars to do so, and that's just what they've admitted to, while still keeping the true finances secret. According to Representative David Cicilline, a Democrat out of Rhode Island, and a member of the House leadership who serves on the Judiciary Committee, this president has a habit of doing things which are out in the open, which are completely improper or even illegal, and somehow the average person thinks, well, if he's doing it out in the open, it must be okay. I must not completely understand the rules, but it's just not okay. And isn't nepotism just another form of corruption? Instead of hiring qualified candidates, Trump disregarded the normal sensibilities of nepotism and installed his daughter Ivanka and her husband Jared Kushner into White House jobs for which they had no actual qualifications for, much like him not having qualifications to be president. As the Washington Post said, given Mr. Trump's example, it is also no surprise that his administration is stacked with business insiders and lobbyists who shape policy to benefit the industries they once worked for and are likely to return to after their stint in government. To head up the Environmental Protection Agency, Mr. Trump decided to choose a climate denier with ties to big oil. After an ethics scandal forced his resignation, a former coal lobbyist replaced him. That certainly doesn't sound like rooting out corruption to me. It sounds like he'd rather fill the swamp to benefit himself rather than drain it and keep those promises to us. Promises made, promises kept, right? I think not. All right, that's enough for now, and I'm running low on time. Before we get into the sponsors, I wanted to thank Zach Mullins for stepping up and filling in for this week's podcast. Zach is an extractor at a major Oregon cannabis company, and he is one of the most genuinely nice guys in the industry. And all of this from a 29-year-old that's still figuring out how high to dream his dream. I truly hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. We shared some good laughs, and I'm looking forward to having him back on in the future. We touch a bit on a wide variety of topics, including ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, and even serial killer psychology, by way of the last podcast on the left. Please forgive a few beeps, buzzes, and even a microphone drop or two. We were recording in his actual work building, so getting things set up just right took a little bit of effort, and obviously I missed a thing or two. That's all on me, not on Zac, so thank you for understanding and bearing with the technical troubles while I get used to all the intricate steps that are required with this endeavor. Now, here's a brief rundown of our sponsors. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you personally for your support. Just listening and sharing this podcast with your friends gives me a reason to keep striving to provide the best content that I can. If you have the means and would like to contribute personally, don't forget about our Patreon page, where you will get access to exclusive content and deals just for our dedicated fans. As for the other sponsors, Awakened Vapes was the first of the Awakened brands and has been helping you modulate your high with CBD-only, high-terpene vape products since 2019. Genesis Pharms has been making the highest quality medicinal RSO among many other amazing products, starting with the medical community back before 2010. And last but not least, we have a new sponsor. This is just their second week with us, the Caramel Corn Company, bringing you caramel corn the way it was meant to be. And remember, if you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Also, please leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. I know that every podcast says that, but it's because it really does help spread the word and visibility. You can also support us on Patreon or connect with us on the social media of your choice. We are at Awakened Exchanges on Facebook and Instagram, and at Awaken Exchanges on Twitter. All right, now, stay tuned and thank you for listening to Awakened Exchanges. Genesis Pharms was founded on the belief in cannabis's ability to heal. Genesis Pharms is more than a brand. They're a compassionate community of like-minded folks that generate top-quality cannabis products made with love and care. Community outreach is always on their mind, and their partnerships with Grow for Vets and Parents for Pot was just a beginning to what they hope to accomplish in the coming years. You can find their products on the best dispensary shelves across the state of Oregon. Their RSO is the most consistent quality in the state, their tinctures are second to none, and their personal massage oil will have you and your partner both coming back for more. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and ask for them in your local dispensary today. Don't forget to listen to Sean's interview right here on Awakened Exchanges soon. Our new sponsor is the Caramel Corn Company. Caramel corn the way it was meant to be. Made from premium ingredients in small, handcrafted batches and completely gluten-free. The flavors include original, roasted cashew, salted almond, mixed nut, white morsel macadamia, spicy sriracha, peanut butter, butterscotch, and my personal favorites, raspberry caramel apple and chocolate drizzle. I can't say enough how delicious this caramel corn is. I wouldn't buy it from any other source. You can find Caramel Corn Company products for sale at Portland area Market of Choice locations, and when it gets stocked back up, maybe it'll be online again. Visit www.caramelcorncompany.com and get more information today. Remember, buying local supports small businesses and keeps your money building your community. Last but not least, Awakened Vapes has been bringing you some of the highest quality CBD vape pens since ringing in the new year of 2019. I became passionate about cannabis after a car wreck left me with major migraines, and no modern medical pills helped alleviate the symptoms. After having tried cannabis a handful of times in high school and college, it was actually a doctor's recommendation that led me to give it another try. Only then did I realize that we'd all been at least a little misled about the health benefits of this amazing plant. And despite an unexpected break because of the vape ban and then a global health crisis, the business is stronger than ever, and we invite you to check out our updated website today. We are still offering our 3 varieties with new and improved terpene formulations for enhanced flavor to go along with that custom blended terpene effect. Check back at www.awakenedvapes.com and be the first online orders of our high-demand Delta 8 cartridges coming in stock here soon. Use the coupon code PODCAST20 at checkout all this month for 20% off your entire order. That's PODCAST20 for 20% off. Welcome to Awakened Exchanges. For those in our audience who are unfamiliar with you, why don't you tell us your name and a little bit about what you do?
My name is Zach Mullins. I am an extractor for a bigger company. I make tinctures that go into edibles. I've made rosin, I've made RSO, different pollen snaps and sugar waxes. So mainly an extraction and some edible.
And how did you get involved with all of this?
Originally, I got involved within all this through my roommate Lyle, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I met Lyle, and he had just moved out to Oregon and was starting up a newer company to the area, and I had gotten my chance with him, actually, and from there I moved further on and, kind of got into the area that I wanted to be in.
And let's see, from that, how did you get involved with cannabis?
Well, I mean, it all started back in the day, just hanging out with friends, and, one thing led to another, and you're smoking a joint, or...
So were you a pretty regular recreational user?
Yeah, I've always appreciated it. I used to have my medical card, and I then I just more appreciate the recreational side, I guess.
So you got your medical card. What did you get it for? What did you get involved with?
I had it for lower back pain. I'd always had kind of back problems. I don't know exactly what it was, but I had been put on some medications, for a while. Didn't really do it for me. It didn't make me feel good.
Understand.
So I'd gotten my medical card through that way, and night and day. And before I even had my medical card, I was smoking recreationally. And,
of course.
Yeah, and it's a miracle worker.
It's interesting. I actually got my medical card in 2006. Because of migraines after a car accident. But it was a doctor after like 2 years of trying regular meds that actually got me to smoke.
Really? When did they start doing medical, actually?
Let's see, 96 in California, I think 2000 or 2002 in Oregon.
That's probably about right.
Yeah. So obviously you got into that, into cannabis from there.
Yeah.
Is there something you prefer to work with? Is there a product you prefer to make or a process?
Yeah. If I could have my all say, if I could make my ideal product, I would, like to make a live resin that, really would stand out to the people, Other than that, if method-wise, I've always been fond of rosin. Rosin's, fun. It's solventless, too. That's another big point that I've liked about it.
So on the live resin side, what would you need to make that product stand out that you're missing right now?
I'm not sure. That's the thing. I would have to have some sort of a decent closed loop setup, but I don't know yet.
There's so much proprietary information, so many that the old school growers don't like to share that kind of information, right?
Yeah.
So how would you go about trying to research it?
I mean, probably go back to school, start that
Really?
way. Yeah, I mean,
Full science route.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a good, smart way to do things. But also, if you get your chance in with somebody, you can definitely learn a lot from people,
Is there somebody who taught you the most?
Not particularly. There are a couple of people that have helped mentor me. One guy that actually lives out in Colorado, he had showed me a lot of different methods, purging stuff. Even Lyle, like I said, that helped me get in within the industry. He's definitely helped a lot, as in different methods of what I'm doing. If I'm going to make RSO, you want to make sure, all solvents are out of it. You don't want any residual ethanol in there. And, making distillate even. Brett, actually, he definitely showed me a good method. And, I don't know. The little things do matter, whether if it's distillate or rosin or whatever. But
doing things the right way the first time, so you don't have to fuck around with it after.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
And then on the rosin side,
Yeah.
that seems to be really popular right now.
Yeah, rosin, I think, just has a different taste and just a different feel than a lot of different extracts. Goes for live resin too. If you're taking a dab of live resin, it's gonna hit you different than if you're gonna take a dab of just some low grade pull and snap per se, or you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
It's just a different high. I feel like rosin has that different feeling further.
What do you think makes that difference in there?
Well, it could be. It's hard to say. It would definitely be maybe just more because there's a lot more plant base in it. Because you would want to do rosin if you're going to do it the right way. You'd want to make it down into some good bubble hash. Freeze dry it from there, and then press. Your finished product. From there, I just feel like there's going to be a lot of good lipids and terpenes still left in that. It would be like with live resin, cutting it down fresh. Yeah. You're preserving it all, and keep it cold through the extraction.
You're actually getting all of the terpenes and things like that are growing in the plant instead of washing it with the alcohol. And losing a lot of that.
Yeah, stripping it. Same with distillate. When you go that route, you're literally stripping all of the, I would like to say, the meaning of the plant. You're the bones to it. The THC is a good part of it, and that's, people love it. But I feel like there's just so much more to roll with it, if you will,
Yeah, well, and I think that we're starting to learn more about the entourage effect and how much that actually affects everything.
Exactly.
And the old school stoner type, we always talked about sativa versus indica, right?
Yeah.
But what we're now finding is that's actually more based on the terpenes that are dominant in those versus the leaves or fan types or all that stuff.
Absolutely. Right? And the leaves and fan type, I believe that there are different classes. But I think it comes down to terpenes. But that's just me, because like you said, I think it just would come down to terpenes.
Do you have a favorite strain for terpenes that you like?
Right now, I would have to say my couple of go-to strains, I've been really liking GMO lately.
Really?
Yeah, I just really like that nasty garlic smell. Something about it, it's just different, On that same level, I really like the burger strains, Donnie Burger, Han Solo Burger. Those just, they just hit differently. More on fruitier side of things, I've been a fan of Tropicana cookies for a little while.
And that's more flavor than effect that you're getting at there?
Like those GMO strains and like I said, the burgers, they hit and they'll put you down.
So you like more indica if you're doing normal?
Yeah.
Foods. All right.
The Tropicana, it definitely more on the taste side. Mm-hmm. And same...
Because that's more balanced hybrid kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. What else have I been liking? I really like lemon strains, like I don't know if you were recording earlier, but when my girlfriend works for Avita's, and they grow a killer lemon meringue.
Really?
Yeah, the lemon meringue, I enjoy smoking their lemon meringue. It's probably the best that I've smoked personally.
Their cartridge or flower?
Flower.
Okay.
Their cartridge, it's good too. They do a pretty good job with their cartridges.
But the flower, it hits differently than cartridges.
Yeah, it does. It just gets you that baked feeling. You know what I mean?
I do.
But their lemon meringue's great. But yeah, what about you actually? What?
I tend to be sativa. I like the Durbans.
Okay.
That hits my nose, and I know that sharpness that hits there is going to get me that focus.
Yeah.
And my tolerance is really high. I tend to still work while I'm smoking. So if I've got that little bit of ability to actually still focus and keep myself from wanting to go lay down on the couch or, eat my weight in M&Ms or Reese's Pieces or something, it's probably a better idea.
Yeah.
So outside of cannabis, what kind of hobbies and stuff do you have?
Well, aside from cannabis, I enjoy hanging out and just communicating with people. Having a good array of friends always is a good thing. You can go out and hike with your friends or go catch a drink with somebody and catch up with them, or, whether it's just hanging out with my girlfriend, human communication's always good. If I'm just gonna, video games are fun.
It's good mindless entertainment for a little while, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always enjoyed reading. I still read a lot.
Anything you're reading right now?
Particularly, I'm actually reading an older Stephen King book.
Nice.
Well, it's older, meaning like within the last 4 years. But it's good.
Reading, I know you listen to a lot of podcasts back there while you're working too.
Yes, I do.
Any favorites or anything that kind of come out?
Definitely. I listen to a lot of the last podcasts on the left.
I just listened to their Bell Witch Part 2 today.
That's actually what I was just listening to also today. Yeah, those guys are hilarious. Their episodes are definitely interesting and keep you wanting more, you know what I mean?
I actually went to their live show last year. I'm glad I actually got to go.
Yeah, I got to see your photo actually of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually took some of the vape cartridges up there. Got to actually hang out with them for a minute. They are very good to their fans. That's something that you don't necessarily see a lot of times.
Yeah, no,
so
absolutely.
I love it.
Did they get to try the cartridges?
I never found out. They didn't try them there, but I would hope so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Henry Zabrowski seems like the kind of guy that would give it a spin.
I'm guessing if there's any cannabis stuff, it was all going to him.
Yeah. So. No kidding.
Although Kissel seems to, if I had a Bud Light lime flavor.
Yeah, right. That's pretty funny.
All right, so what about... You have any big early influences? Anything that really?
Well, my friends always seem to influence me. A good group of friends, they know how to bring the best out of you. And all my friends, we're all different. Everyone's different, and I feel like everyone has their own niche of what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish in life. And I just feel like that's impressive to me, and it's envious. Some of my friends write music and they're successful with it, and I think it's the greatest thing, to be able to look at one of your best friends and you're one of their biggest fans also within.
You're getting to see them follow their dreams, support them in that dream, and still feel better about yourself. You're trying to strive for your own thing.
It makes you think about yourself. It's just like, wow, these people, they're impressive. They can do this certain thing and bring happiness and make people think differently, or whatever. And it's just impressive, that people are can do that. And another big influence for that matter would actually be my girlfriend. She
really?
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, one of the most intelligent people I've met, especially when it comes to different lab stuff and science. She's a little science nerd. But no, she makes some of the better cartridges that I've ever smoked, so it's impressive to me.
The Avita stuff was some of the first cartridges I actually bought in Washington, recreationally anyway.
Not bad. I really enjoy them, actually. She'll treat me every once in a while and give me some of her Avita's cartridges, and always like it.
I do like to dab a little bit more often just so I can get that feel, but after the sober October, I'm guessing my tolerance is going to be reset quite a bit.
You haven't dabbed at all?
I haven't had any cannabis minus CBD since the 1st.
Whoa. Are you going to go just November 1st, you're back on?
Oh, yeah. Halloween at midnight, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah, I know I'm going to still be up. All the kids will have their candy by then. Fuck that. I'm going to go down.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's pretty funny, though. Actually, I can't even remember the last time I've gone like a full month without.
That's what I was actually thinking. I was getting ready for the podcast. Joe Rogan and the crew aren't even really doing Sober October this year. No one's talking about it. Everyone's COVID, lockdown. So fuck it, let's all get high. Yeah. I don't blame them. Fuck, I want to, but I kind of made the commitment on the first podcast, so I felt like I should stick to my word.
Oh no, absolutely.
And I haven't had a tolerance break in a while, so I bet I'm gonna feel those first few dabs.
Oh yeah, you like to dab rosin, right?
Oh yeah,
is that your thing?
Flavor wise, I'd say yes. I like batters as far as consistency goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My favorite batter, Echo Electuary.
They
make their batter. I just feel like it's terpene rich and it's just easy to work with, and it always just has a beautiful pale, good look.
I love it.
Yeah, I do.
Right.
Batter. No, you're absolutely right when it comes to a batter.
So I probably dab a bunch of that. I love my rosins, and I have a friend over at Happy Cabbage that gives me some samples. Same with Archive. And, my goodness, they're just fucking delicious.
Yeah, but both of them actually, they're definitely top notch.
Archive always seems to work with some of the best flour to begin with. So then when you get that, and it's all their own strains that they're doing. Dirty Taxi.
Don't get me started on that. I do like that. Just that it's got that same smell as GMO. Just that nasty, pungent. What's that strain by Archive that I really like? It's Southern Belle. Actually,
really? I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, Evans Creek actually grows. I think they got a pack of Archive seeds, and their Southern Belle is really good. But
all right.
Yeah, I know their genetics for it are great, and I'm pretty sure they come from Archive. But man, they are good.
Adam over there he's spot on with those strains. If he likes it, they keep it around, and they grow the same way every time, and you can just kind of count on that.
If you've ever seen an Archive clone, you definitely know what it looks like.
That's right. They're still one of the ones that sell their clones, too, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they do. I know I've been to a few shops that actually still sell their clones.
I know that he was talking about trying to open up a shop, I think in Salem at some point, an actual Archive shop. So
that would be great.
Wouldn't it? I'd love to see them expand. I like when good people can make good things happen.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Speaking of good people making good things happen, where is your career headed? What are you trying to get into?
Well, I would like to say I staying in the cannabis industry is something that I would love to do. Whether it be in extraction or something else. Like I said, I want to try to further something, but I just don't know what it is yet.
Well, I know that you like to learn, and I've always seen that in you. When you get a new process, you're just kind of digging in.
Yeah.
Is there anything besides the live resin or the rosin that you're trying to dig into right now?
Just trying to maybe up production.
Really?
Yeah.
Just getting a better count?
Total? Yeah, whether it's making distillate, trying to, perfect a run and try to get more out of it, or whether it's winterizing something, or, things break sometimes. You're always going to get that setback. But, I don't know. It's in a gray area, I'd have to say right now.
Okay. So I know you're passionate about the cannabis, so that's definitely why you're sticking with it.
Yeah.
What other passions do you have?
Tough to say, honestly.
Movies,
as far as,
music.
Yeah. I mean, I love music. I do love movies as well.
Give some favorites.
What?
Either.
Okay. Movie-wise, I'm a big horror movie buff.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I read Stephen King. any good horror classic. I'm a big fan of The Exorcist, the Hellraiser,
Nice.
the old school stuff. Music-wise, I will listen to anything from reggae to, rap music to metal music, any of it.
Nice eclectic taste. You can kind of go.
Oh yeah. Even further, reggae-wise, Peter Tosh.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
I know that, like, my go-to, I love Marley.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't go back, I can't get away from it, but I haven't, Peter Tosh actually helped originate so much of it.
Oh yeah, and the Marley family, Damian Marley definitely was a big influence on me growing up. Back in high school, I listened to some of his music for the first time, and it made me want to have dreadlocks.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever actually do it?
Oh yeah.
I gotta see a picture of that.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely show you a picture of that.
Send me one. I might have posted on Instagram
Yeah,
with
there
this
you
too.
go. Yeah, definitely a big influence. It's fun. That kind of music is just so positive, and it's easy listening.
So do you enjoy the concerts as well? The festival
Absolutely.
kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, actually, I've gone to many a concert. And that's the thing right now. It's so hard.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because I want to just go see a live show. And like I said, a lot of my friends make music, and seeing them perform, it's great. It's seeing someone you love do what they love, and I love seeing that kind of stuff.
Is there one of them you want to shout out to? Anyone in particular that they should go download their music right now?
Yeah, actually. Hey, Liam, how's it going? Everybody should go check out Mizmor, actually.
Mizmor?
Mizmor. They have a Bandcamp, so it's Mizmor.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go listen tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely metal. Yeah, give it a listen. I'm actually curious on what you would think.
Cool, I will do that.
Yeah.
On the movie side, you said horror movies, things like that?
Yeah, horror movies, they're my favorite. Director-wise, Quentin Tarantino.
Tarantino is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
You've seen Once Upon a Time then?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Actually, I just rewatched that movie here probably 3-4 weeks ago.
My then fiance did not understand the Manson murder history side of it. So when you start getting into there and you're like, no, he's not going to do that, is he?
Yeah, right.
Because I went in opening weekend, no clue what it was about. Oh.
Yeah, no, that movie was a definite shock, and it really just made me realize how much I love Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, both.
I know, such amazing actors, and you kind of think of them, oh, it's Brad, it's Leo, or whatever, but God, they can just blend in. They turn that movie into
They definitely give it that feel. All of Quentin Tarantino's movies are like that, but those two just really set it off. Even before that, I was a fan of The Hateful Eight. I know a lot of people said it drug on, and it was, really, it had a lot of dialogue, which I really enjoyed, but
I understand what they're saying about pacing, because it wasn't a standard Tarantino pacing.
Yeah.
But the payoff.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sit through a movie.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I've had so many younger people that I know that don't understand that the end of a movie, if you can actually sit through 2 hours and you get to the end of that movie, that payoff, that's what makes a movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And it's good to see that. Now, I know horror movies can actually be a little divisive. Does your girlfriend enjoy them as well?
Yes and no. She'll enjoy a good one as long as I'm going to stay awake to watch it with her.
See, I'm trying to get her into, what's that one? It's like Run and Hide or something like that.
I'm familiar.
I'm going to go ahead and make a little mark here because I'm going to edit. So it's actually Ready or Not, as I've edited through all of this, hopefully, and you don't have to listen to this whole conversation. Yeah. But yes, Ready or Not. That's the one I'm actually going to be showing her this weekend. It's kind of a horror movie, but it's kind of like that badass woman who's taking care of business. And if you can make it through something like that, you got to. She's not big into jump scares. I'm guessing your girl either.
No. Yeah. As far as horror movies go, another director that I really fond of is Ari Aster.
Tell me more.
Hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
Midsummer. And then I think he is probably writing something or probably about to release something within the next year, hopefully.
God, with COVID making everything take so long, it's so weird not seeing a new movie in a while.
Yeah. Where theaters are going to be?
I think they might be done.
Yeah.
I think we might be witnessing the end of it. I mean, fuck, it's almost...
Well,
if we had drive-ins, we could see movies again.
Yeah, that's probably where malls are going to go for that matter. You know what I mean? It's just all going to be online, but...
It's driving a lot of market that way.
Yeah, but no, Ari Aster, great. Hereditary, probably my favorite horror movie within the last 20 years.
Wow,
yeah.
That's high praise.
Yeah, no, I Toni Collette, great. It was a great movie, and watch it a second time.
Okay.
And it's you pick up things that you don't realize, and it's one of those kind of movies. But
I like that.
Yeah, creepy as all hell. Like, oh man, I live for that kind of shit.
All right, I'll check that back out again. Let's see. Any other big things that stick out for you, movie or music influence-wise?
Not really. Well, I mean, music-wise, yeah. One of my best friends, actually, Matt Williams, he has a band called Hell.
Hell.
Yeah.
Metal music as well?
Yeah, it's slower. Same with Mizmor, too. It's slower music, but he's a very inspirational guy. He recently moved within this last year to Austin, Texas to do to recording school, actually.
Of course it's Austin.
Yeah.
Since I'm thinking about I used to live in Kerrville, which is northwest of San Antonio. Austin's northeast of San Antonio, and that little triangle between Austin, Kerrville, and San Antonio is exactly where I'm actually looking at going back to.
Really?
Yeah, probably a year or two.
To move?
Yep.
Wow, well that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, he very inspirational guy. He writes music based on how he feels, and wrote a lot of music for his dad.
Putting that personal vulnerability into your music really makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes it tougher on such a different level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, just seeing the things that he's gone through, it's definitely an inspirational thing. Makes me want to be like that kind of person, seeing how strong he is. I'm just going to go and do my dream, and I want to pursue it. I'm going to do whatever it takes, it's great.
Is there anything, do you play any instruments or?
No, never have.
Me neither. I sing along with a lot of music, and I'm sure my voice is not something you want to hear, but that's, it is what it is.
Don't we all, though? That's the thing. I don't. It's weird hearing your own voice. I'm sure This
has been the weirdest experience for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be weird for me, too.
But. Oh, good. You're going to have to listen to it.
Yeah.
So you envy a lot of these people who are writing and following that kind of dream, doing that music. Mm-hmm. You're still trying to figure out your spot.
Yeah. I mean, it's whether it's within the cannabis industry, and who knows, it might not even be.
Did you have any big thing you were aimed at as a child? I actually wanted to be a scientist for a long ass time, of all things.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, I've always the thought of going to college and I want to have a career.
That's how we were grown up.
Yeah, and that career, I just didn't quite know what it was. I always, something within science, I would have to say, is probably my realm of where I would have wanted to be in. If I were to go back now, I would want to go back for chemistry.
Yeah. Well, after high school, I went to college and did that whole, this is what I'm supposed to do next thing.
Yeah.
I had 7 different majors before I finally decided to get out of there because I liked all these random things, but after I graduated with screenwriting, I barely used my degree.
Yeah.
And I went into tech of all things, and then cannabis. That has absolutely nothing to do with screenwriting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, because I actually have a friend that got his degree in graphic design and has never used anything for it yet. And it's just you win some, you lose some, I guess. But You can always go back.
Well, that was the thing is, now the design and the art stuff that I went through, that was actually one of my majors was art and then photography.
Really? I didn't know that, really?
Yeah. Huh. And my first one was art, then photography, then journalism, then fucking psychology, sports psychology, sociology.
Sports psychology?
I actually, I always thought about being a coach, doing something where you could actually help, mold something. But then in the end, I went with writing. I want to tell those stories, and I think that's where this comes from eventually.
Yeah.
But
well, no, I mean, I could see that. Like you said, a journalist. See, that's rad though. Like I feel like being a journalist would just be cool and interesting. Well, one would think.
Yeah. Well, the old school journalists, at least, we were actually digging for the truth.
Yeah.
Instead of just making people scroll through ads.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's definitely a weird field the last decade or so.
Mm-hmm. What question that I want to ask you. How did you get in with testing? Like testing marijuana and all that? Yeah,
so I was briefly the operations manager for Packaging Brothers.
Okay.
And had a disagreement with one of the brothers, and just decided, okay, I need a better environment.
Okay.
I thought Rose City was that environment. I went there for quite a while. I actually was interviewing with a few other companies, and then I thought Rose City would be, I would be on the road a little bit. I could have a little bit of my own time, listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And it turned into a fairly good fit for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I was always interested in the science side of it as well.
Yeah.
I always liked the fact that it's not THC. That education factor, you can say, all right, it's not THC percentage that you want to go to when you're looking at the stores. Your nose knows.
Oh, yeah.
Go smell that flower, smell it, and decide if you smells good to you, that's probably what your body wants, right?
If it smells good and it looks good, I completely agree with you.
Right? And so I kind of fell into it for a while, and it actually helped me learn enough about the other various sides of the industry, getting to see all the businesses and how they all run and do their own process. That's how my vapes got started.
Yeah.
And how so many of my contacts in these first interviews are all coming about as well.
No,
so
I'm definitely excited to give that vape a shot.
I really want to know what you think of that mellow, too.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's actually what the design work. I had to do all the logos, all the packaging, all that stuff.
Love it.
If I hadn't had that art background in that college and stuff, I would be so much harder.
Yeah, I'm glad that you went with the gray.
Thank you.
Gray packaging looks slick.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Enough about me on there, and you have your future plans for cannabis. You're still trying to find out what passion you have, what you're going to follow. As you're doing that, is there anything weird or unusual you like to mess with or think about or go into?
What do you mean?
Any strange topics? I know you like last podcast on the left, so serial killers or UFOs or any randomness that kind of makes you want to rabbit hole yourself into something?
Yeah, I mean, serial killers are interesting, I guess.
It's a psychological factor. How does that happen?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely interesting. Have you watched Mindhunters?
The first season, yes.
Yeah, so stuff like that is definitely interesting to me. The human thought process is wild. Everyone thinks differently. Everyone looks differently. Everyone is different. But we're so alike. It's wild to me that people can be that evil. Or
what I think is really fascinating with that is when you start thinking about it, you go, well, how could that ever happen? How could somebody get to that point?
Yeah.
But when you really start to think, and you're like, well, everybody is capable of that.
Yeah, it's fucking scary.
You push the right buttons, and you just don't know what people are capable of.
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes to say, I live my life to the fullest.
Absolutely.
I hope everyone does, because, you never know if there's going to be that crazy person or a crazy situation, You never know. Yeah. Whether it's a drunk driver or someone literally pulling a gun on you or something wild, You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. So what What kind of psychology fascinates you? What do you like to read about or search through more? Is there any part of the psyche that you actually are fascinated with? Any part of your own self that you're like, oh, I want to research that? Why am I thinking this a little bit more? Or where does this come from, kind of stuff?
Yeah, like I said, I guess just the human thought process, what would make someone think that? I don't know.
Okay. Any particular conspiracy theories or anything that kind of messes with you that you always like to?
No, I'm not really too conspiracy theory-ish.
I kind of got the feeling that Andy would be a little bit more along those paths.
Oh yeah, definitely Andy would be.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like he would be. I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe in aliens.
Okay.
I definitely believe in aliens.
What about all this disclosure that's like starting to come about?
It's tough to say. I would hate to be the naysayer that I don't believe it, but who am I to say that it's not real? I don't know. It's just such an unknown thing that I don't want to say it sounds silly saying, oh, I believe it, but I absolutely damn believe that there are aliens out there. Whether this new footage or whatever is coming out is real, I still believe that there is something.
Whether or not they've visited us, statistically speaking,
exactly,
it's damn near impossible to think there isn't other life out there.
Yeah, no, or do you believe in ghosts?
I actually do.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I believe in spirits, whether, religion, if I believe in God, that would be a different discussion. Yeah. But I believe in, maybe some sort of a spirit that would visit somebody or maybe haunt somebody.
My personal theory on that is, we're all energy, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that makes our brains function and working, we've got all those electrical processes firing those neurons in there. That's what's giving us our personality and doing all that. Well, we also know you can't destroy energy, right?
Yeah.
So that energy has to go somewhere. It doesn't have a brain to be the receiver anymore. Does that mean that it doesn't exist?
It's wild. And then you ever think about reincarnation?
I absolutely have. I have a fairly...
The whole old soul type of thing, it's weird because I've definitely met people where it's like, there's something different about you, like you're woke, if you will, like, you know what I mean?
I absolutely do.
Yeah, it's just like
they've had a few more lifetimes.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. It's just like, wow, there's something different about you, and I love it. Like, it's weird, but then there are people that you're like, well, okay, maybe it's your first time, like.
There was an interesting thing I found out in the last year or so. There are, I think it's somewhere around 15% of people that don't have an internal monologue.
Really?
So
15 what?
15%.
Wow.
So, like, they can't think a thought without saying it. So then when you ask them about, like, monologues in movies and stuff, they're like, that's just a movie device. That's just something that happens in movies. They honestly cannot process that.
That's wild to me. Well, so like what? They can't keep a secret?
Apparently, yeah.
That's weird. No, I've never heard that.
That was only in the last year, so I'm just like, I actually had to look it up because I was like...
Do you know someone that has had this?
No. I haven't actually... Actually, there's a few people I wonder if they've had that because they're just a little lower on that scale sometimes.
No, absolutely.
But, there were... Actually, probably... My time inside was probably where I met more of those people who were just filterless,
Yeah, that absolutely.
Yeah. But on the reincarnation side, what's your thought process on there?
I could see it being I could see it possibly being a thing, How it happens, I couldn't tell you, but it just seems like it could be something that I don't know. It's hard to say, like, because even within evolution, in some parts, evolution sounds like it could fit. All of those different things, they all sound like certain parts of it sound good. Some of them don't.
I think that it is about that coexistence. It's not like religion is right or science is right. We're all trying to explain the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's that language barrier.
Mm-hmm. And, it's weird. You always think, like, man, I wonder within my lifetime, will I know?
All right, I got to ask, have you seen a ghost or a spirit or anything?
Never. I've never had an experience with a ghost. There have been times... Oh, my friends would love to hear me say this too. There have been
point them to the podcast.
Yeah, there have been one time where we were all, here in Salem. We were at Joryville Park out in South Salem. It's top of a hill, beautiful. You got a good view of the sky and your surroundings. Well, we were there at night, and there was something flying in the air that I thought it could have been a helicopter, how it was flying. My friends say that it was, some sort of a spacecraft. I couldn't tell you what it was. It did look a little weird to me, and I don't know what it was. Like, I can't tell you what it was, and...
That is the definition of a UFO, right?
Yeah,
unidentified.
Yeah, and I was the naysayer that day. Like, that's gotta be a plane, or that's gotta be a helicopter, but... Ghosts, I've never had that experience. I've always had I've had a feeling like someone watching you. Everyone's had that feeling, or like that weird feeling of like where I've had it here in the warehouse where you walk and you're the only one here, and but you hear shit, or just hear things, or you make it up in your head. I don't know.
Are you familiar with Fort Vancouver at all?
No.
All right. So the oldest fort, it's on the other side of the river from Portland, basically.
Oh, yeah.
It's where Hudson Bay Company was. It was actually the major port before Portland.
Okay.
And the base, or the complex is from like the early 1800s, I think. And then there's a military base there. And they have what's called Officers Row. There's a place called the Grant House where Ulysses S. Grant stayed, and all these things when he was, general. Well, in the 80s, they were all in disrepair. These giant mansions that were just being let to, fall apart. So the city started remodeling them from one end of the row down to the other end. Mm-hmm. Beautiful houses now, still well maintained and taken care of, but at the time, they were basically letting low-income housing into these giant-ass mansions.
Oh, wow.
My mom got lucky enough to actually get one of these
things.
I actually learned how to ride my bike inside the mansion at this house because we could just go in this little circle in there. But, so I was 5, maybe 6 at the time.
Uh-huh.
And my cousin wouldn't go to the upstairs bathroom because the toilet would just flush by itself randomly all the time. Weirdest thing, okay?
Was there a handle?
Yeah, it was. So my mom's like, the toilet keeps flushing. She talked to the maintenance guy. The maintenance guy goes, I know. We can't figure it out. As far as we can tell, we've changed out all the plumbing. We've changed the types of handles. We've changed all of the stuff that you can possibly change. As far as we can tell, this ghost is fascinated with indoor plumbing and just likes to flush the toilet. Now, it's like, when I was a kid, I used to, I had imaginary friends in this house playing around with this shit. And I don't, now I look back and like, were they imaginary friends?
How old were you?
5, 6.
Oh, at the scary point to where you could well be via.
But they were whatever they were. If it wasn't just imaginary friends, they were friendly. I never was scared of them. I used to give my cousin shit because he was 6 years older than me, but he wouldn't go down the hallway and use the bathroom.
Really, that's crazy.
I went back there in high school because I was fascinated with it. I was in my photography class. My art class, we were doing a documentary on Officers Row, and
was someone living there?
Oh yeah, actually now I think it's offices.
Oh, okay.
So we went in there. We were allowed to take pictures and stuff. And I wish I still had this. It was at Fort Vancouver with my teacher, Miss Bartels. I think she left the whole notebook of my negatives. I think she left them at the school.
Oh, really? But that's actually kind of neat,
right?
Like, yeah,
one of the last times to actually develop negatives.
Yeah.
But I was taking pictures of the house I used to live in just to finish off this roll of film. And I was like, I had like 10 pictures left. Film was cheap because it's black and white. I was developing it myself, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
I finish off the roll. I go develop it, and it's house, decapitated head, house.
What?
There was just this like witch head. This nobody that anybody knew. It looked like a one of those shrunken head doll kind of things.
Yeah.
But just took up the whole frame right where the house should be at the house that was haunted when I was a kid.
Wait,
that's
so
the closest thing I've had to an experience.
Really?
With that. Yeah.
Do you have the photo still?
I don't. The negatives were with I'm assuming still at Fort. I had one copy of the photo, but I've moved fucking half dozen or more times since then.
Yeah,
and I can't find it.
Lost in translation. Do you still remember what it looks like?
I do, very vividly. My friend Tom, who he's in Georgia now, he's a helicopter pilot, does a whole bunch of things. He still very vividly remembers us developing all that shit too. It was
girl or a guy?
I had the sense it was a female.
Yeah.
And like
girls are scarier too. Like I feel like the thought of like a female ghost just sounds scarier than a male ghost. I don't know why. But
yeah. I don't know. Part of me was like, I wonder if the ghost was trying to say hi because it recognized me from being a kid.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could have been.
I don't know, but it's still creepy, right?
That is creepy. No, it really is.
But I've always been fascinated with ghosts, spirits, things like that too.
Actually, so check this out. Today, we were listening. Andy and I were listening to the last podcast,
The Bell Witch.
Yes. Whether it was that episode or it was the one previous before that, a side story that they did, the diabolical threesome or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah.
Henry Zabrowski mentions we love Zac. What's his name from Ghost Adventures?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I forgot the name too.
You know who I'm talking about, the Zac or whatever is. That's what his name is.
Ghost Hunters.
Yeah, Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that they were saying how much they love that guy, and these experiences that he's been through. And do you remember the one clip, or it was the one episode where he got possessed? Do you remember that?
No, tell me about that.
So it kind of turned me off on the show seeing this because one, I'm not calling him fake. It looked fake as hell.
I worked in Hollywood for a while. I understand how much of that stuff is just scripted to make ratings.
I'll act mad and be weird to get paid the big bucks, but it was just like, man, are you kidding me? But to hear these guys, we love him, and he does these ghost things or whatever, and it was like, what? But I always remember that being because demonic possession is terrifying. The Exorcist, Jesus,
absolutely, right?
It's terrifying because it, like I just said earlier, the unknown. You don't know. But just seeing that, it always kind of made me laugh because it was funny to me, and it's such a scary, terrifying thing that it's like, wow, this guy is totally faking this. But I don't know if you've ever had anything like that where you've seen a humorous side of Ghost, or like not like a comedy or something.
No, but I think there are some scary ghosts. There are people just like there are scary people. You get pissed off and you get stuck in whatever. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But I also think there's some people that they're looking out for kids. There's good sense of humor on some. There's all different kinds of ghosts as well. There's different kinds of energy, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and coming from one of the jumpiest people ever. Oh, I am.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm such a jumpy person. I hate it.
But you still love horror movies. You still like the jump scares.
You see, it's the thrill of it,
Really?
And, yeah, especially watching a good horror movie that you haven't seen, and then it really just gets you. Oh, man.
They're just, I think that, what was that, Us?
Yeah. Oh, great.
The couple scenes in there, just get you. And like you said,
I love Jordan Peele.
Oh my God! Right?
Another director for that. Both Get Out and Us. Whoa.
Right?
Great. Yeah, great. I was a big fan.
Another one coming out?
Yeah. Was he doing Candyman? Was he? I think he was a part of. I think he was a part of Candyman, and
that would be a very interesting take on Candyman.
Yeah, I don't know why I think that, but I thought that he.
We may be wrong. Look it up.
Yeah, exactly. Don't take my word for it. But yeah, I bet you he's got something in the works.
Oh, he has to. I mean, if nothing else, COVID has got to have let those writers have nothing but time to make some good stuff, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
I really hope so, anyway. Yeah. So, ghosts, UFOs, any other... What about Bigfoot? We are in the Northwest.
You know, growing up, I'll say this. I believed in Bigfoot. And it wasn't Sasquatch. It was Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like, I believed in it. When I stopped believing it, I don't know. Maybe I still do believe in Bigfoot. Because it's just wild to me that it's bones or something have never been discovered. But
we also know that one, if they are human-like, maybe they take their dead.
Yeah. Yeah, weird. I never thought about that.
And what if they're not? Then if they're bear or animal-like, most of those things are, they get eaten and dispersed through the woods.
Yeah,
right?
and just the science behind the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
How much is untouched or undiscovered?
Oh God,
weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's it's so weird. It's the same with well, actually, don't they know more about space than they do about our ocean?
The deep ocean stuff?
Yeah.
I think it's I've heard at least we've explored more of the moon than the ocean or something like that.
That's weird to me. But what's to say that there's not a huge giant squid or something? Well,
we just confirmed the giant squid thing. We have all these krakens, we used to have.
Yeah.
And now we finally find, bodies washing up, a couple, and that's the only thing we've ever seen to finally prove that these giant monsters that are as big as our biggest boats just are down there.
Yeah, and see, there could very well be a Bigfoot out there.
I've got you know where Hood River's at, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right across the river's Bingen white salmon,
mm-hmm.
And just down the road from that's Klickitat. And I've got a bunch of family that has been logging and construction and those kind of industries in that area for a long time. And they're all hunters. They all go up there. They do their thing. You ask even the kids who go up hunting with their dads, they don't talk about Bigfoot as a joke because almost every single one of them has seen footprints and seen and felt something watching them up there.
Really?
And
well, how big were the foot? Were they big foot?
Yeah, exactly. I get it. I mean, there could just be, I got some fairly big feet, but I don't think my footprints would scare people the way these things seem to.
Really? So your family and
personally has seen at least footprints. I've heard of one story.
Have you seen photos of these?
I have not.
Really? Have you ever gone up with them just to?
I've wanted to.
Yeah, I would like to say I would go, but that'd be a little.
I know. I still want to. There's actually this other place called Isetti.
I don't know where that's at.
It's Trout Lake. It's just a little bit north of White Salmon in there. It's not very far.
Oh, okay.
It's this little ranch. Look it up, ECETI. You can go up there, and pretty much every day of the week, you just see UFOs.
Really?
You go look it up on YouTube. You just see them. They're pointing out these things just pop out into existence. There's some that are donut shaped. There's actually a hole in the middle. You can see them power up and do these weird discharges and shit.
Wow.
I'm just all right, I'm gonna have to do that next year. Go camp and see what you can actually see. Yeah. Experience it yourself, right?
No kidding. Yeah, actually, that sounds awesome.
I was gonna go this year, and then I thought COVID had canceled it because they didn't open like they normally did. And then I looked it up the last weekend that they had availability. So
go
of course,
figure, right?
Yeah. Next year, damn it.
No kidding.
So as we're getting a little bit closer to the end here, I like to go into little bits I call the moment of vulnerability kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you what motivates you in life? What gets you out of bed to do these things that you do every day?
My family, probably. Just wanting to make them happy, or not just necessarily for them, but for myself also. I like to think that I have a sense of pride, and, I I want to make my family happy. You know, it's a good
make them
feeling.
proud of you.
Yeah, you know, not like make them proud, but have them want to be proud about me. You know, like, hey, he gets up, he does what he has to do in life, and is making through it pretty damn okay. You know, like I feel like that gets me up. You know, I keep talking about all my friends and stuff, but even
friends are important.
Yeah, friends are very important.
They're the family we choose.
Yeah, hey, that's actually, I've never heard that, but that's absolutely true. You know, but you know, my friends, they give me a sense of drive to where like it does get me up and it makes me motivated and it keeps me thinking. You know, it always keeps me thinking.
I personally think life is about growth, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm constantly growing.
And that's it. If you're making those, if you're thinking about that, you're making those steps, and your family, your friends, they help you grow into what you're trying to be, into a better you every day.
Yeah. 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 No, totally. Yeah. You know, little things in life really go a long way for me. Whether it's, you know, compliments or me helping someone or, you know, just little things like that always keep me going. Being polite. I feel like being a nice person or, you know, being laid back and being relaxed or, you know, taking a second to think, I feel like it goes a long way in life. And I feel like the pace of life that it gives me is great. You know, it's where I want to be. You know,
so many people are in a hurry right now.
Yeah, and so many people are freaking assholes too. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and it's
no common respect for other people.
Yeah, and I like to think I'm a good person. You know, so that is another thing that's big for me.
You absolutely are, by the way.
Oh, you are too. Honestly, I'm glad that we've actually connected.
Oh, me too. One of the better friends I've made in the industry. I really appreciate you. Man.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, like being polite is key. You know, being negative is just such a horrible thing that like it not only ruins your day, but it makes time go by so much longer that it's undescribable. Like to where if I can sit here and have a conversation like this with you, you know, it means something, you know, and where it's like, you know, we're both nice people and I don't know, it's just really...
We're an hour into this, it feels like a 20-minute conversation.
Yeah,
right
no,
now, you know?
That's what I mean.
Time flies.
Yeah, that's what I mean too. It's just like the pace of life, that being polite, and it's a great feeling knowing that you can be nice and roll through it.
Well, you talked a little bit about religion and spirituality before, and like for me, that it comes back to that. No matter what religion you've been brought up in, one thing, there's only one thing, as far as I can tell, that they all agree on, and that is do unto others.
Yes. Yeah, and I believe in that.
Right?
Yeah. And you know, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if everybody, like, who wants to be treated like an asshole?
Yeah, an asshole.
Exactly. Apparently, they want you to be a dick. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no kidding. I agree with that.
All right, so that's what motivates you. What scares you?
Man. I would hate to say defeat scares me, but not necessarily that. Man, I haven't been asked that question in a long time. I don't know.
Is there anything that still really scares you?
Yeah, I mean,
fear of failure? Is that the defeat you're talking about?
No, not. I mean, failure. Everyone fails. Like, you know, everyone grows. So you live and you learn. That's where it's just
learning from your failures is key.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, at one time I would say maybe loneliness scares me, but I feel like sometimes, you know, loneliness is solitude. I feel like it's great. And as I get older, I feel like being alone, or the thought of being alone, it's comforting in a way.
This last time that I split with my girlfriend, it actually made me try and become a little bit of friends with loneliness, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I totally get it.
You have to get to know yourself a little bit more, and once you're okay with yourself, then it's not really as lonely.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And, you know, obviously you can think in your head.
Right. Thank God. If I was one of those 50%, I'd be dead.
But, you know, like, it just, like, thinking within yourself, it is a comfortable feeling. And, you know, I'm sure you learned quick that it's not always a bad thing.
No.
It's not always a bad thing. You know, the thought of death also is a little unsettling at times. I'm not going to say I'm completely comfortable with dying. I guess that scares me. Another thing I keep saying, it's just unknown, you know? Unknown things are,
it's
I guess,
the unknown part of death as opposed to the other.
Yeah, and I think that would be a good thing that scares me, or things that I just don't know are scary to me in some ways, you know?
I think that's the root of a lot of things, even like racism and bigotry. You just don't know the people.
And that, you know, on that note, racism scares me.
It's how can it be this prevalent in our country in 2020?
Yeah, racism scares. Yeah, it's just how I could never. I can't even think. I'm like stuttering on words. I can't even think of treating someone like that, you know, or calling them a name that's so defiling that it's just, you know, makes someone feel lesser than me. Absolutely not, dude. I will not stand for that ever. Ever.
I'm so glad there's still people that realize that. I mean, I think I mentioned in the intro, I was raised up here. Mm-hmm. Then I went down to Georgia. I was like a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
and
different pace of life.
Right. This skinny black kid was one of my two best friends.
See,
and
there you go.
I had no clue until a sixth grader decided to try and tell me that I shouldn't be hanging out with this guy and trying to beat me up. It's just like this weird thing. I'm like, wait, why? I could not fathom why I couldn't. He was just a nice kid.
Yeah, because he looks different. Like, that's the worst excuse I've ever heard.
I was always the tall, fat kid anyway, so for me it was unusual to treat anybody differently.
Yeah, you know, it's disgusting in a word. You know, it's just literally disgusting. And I feel for people. You know, I hate that people have to live with that and will continue to live with that for who knows how long.
At least another generation. We're still breeding it into each other out there.
Yeah, it's sad. I hate thinking about that. But, you know, Black Lives Matter.
And my thing is, I understand those white people trying to say all lives matter. Yes, all lives do matter. But Black Lives Matter right now because we've been putting them down for so long that you have to raise them back up so that we realize they're part of all the lives you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, it's relevant now. You know, that's why we say that, you know.
Absolutely.
But yeah, hopefully one day, you know.
It'd be nice if we actually treated people with equality, right?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, if we just treated... Like I said, if we were all just decent people and could treat each other nicely and be polite and just take the time, everyone would realize that their life would be so much better.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, on the fear side of things, has there been any fear that has held you back that you can think of recently?
Fear, no, I mean... The fear of Donald Trump becoming president.
Oh, God, it's a reality we've all had to live with.
Yeah. No, I mean, right. You know, honestly, I hate to say it, but lately I've actually been pretty happy. You know, I haven't had, you know, COVID scares the shit out of me.
How do you get around that? Don't let it hold you back.
Well, I mean, I still stay at home. You know, I do what I have to do. Go out. Be
responsible. Wear a mask when you're in public. Things like that.
Do the decent things that you do. Don't try to go out of my way to like really be out there. You know, like just go visit people. I'd visit a buddy up in Portland, and when I visit him, I respect him to where we hang out outside, you know. We'll sit from a distance and we'll have a couple beers, you know. We'll have our own pipes. We'll have our own dab rigs. You know, we accommodate each other. Like,
absolutely.
That is how I've been, you know, like just doing things like that. You know, I have my people that I surround myself with, you know, to where, my girlfriend, I'm not going to do that to her. But, you know, I have my people that I'll still be around.
You have your germ circle that you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And if one of them gets sick, you stop.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But my parents, we only, my dad's really high risk.
Is he?
So he's got a degenerative lung condition.
Oh,
so if he catches it, fucked.
Yeah.
So we still only, since January, before COVID even started, we had, he was on lockdown. His doctors were worried about it.
Really?
Even back then. And we've only met outside. We do dinner outside sometimes. Always, 8 feet apart. Yeah. Always just sitting there. I haven't given my parents a hug in almost a year now.
That's tough.
And you're just like, but it's what you have to respect certain things. If somebody's at high risk, you know that you keep them at a different level.
Yeah.
Then you have like your friends, like you and me, if we were to get it, which is still fairly possible.
Absolutely.
I think we're both healthy enough where it's not going to cause us a whole lot of harm.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I don't want to pass it to somebody that could,
Yeah, and, like you said, if you were to get it, it would just make it that much more tough for your parents' situation. I mean, you're not going to go have dinner with them at least for probably fucking couple weeks or...
Yeah. You got, they've got to be worried for another few weeks, make sure nothing happened, and you got to do all these other different things that... it's just about being considerate to your fellow human beings.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what I live for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear about a game-changing moment in your life, something that changed who you were.
A game-changing moment in my life. A game-changing moment I would have to say is when I first started pulling concentrates.
Okay.
It was a time to where, it was something I had wanted to always do.
And when was this?
This had to have been back in 2016, 2017.
Okay.
It could have been bubble hash, or it could have been pull and snap, or it could have been anything at this point of my life. Doing those things showed me that I'm still capable of doing dreams that I've wanted to do. It made me realize that, you can get to a certain point and you can reach goals that you never thought would be possible, but, you work hard enough and that shit does happen. You know what I mean?
You put that intention out there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to. But, that was a life-changing moment. Some of those first runs,
Your first run's your first run.
Yeah, I would probably not like to see what that looked like, but, things like that, it really just changed how it made me realize that I can still constantly learn. I can that. Yeah, I can push myself to a point to where it's like, like I said, right now I'm in a mix of like, I don't know what I want to do, but
you still have that internal love of learning.
Yeah, and that'll never stop. That's just like the inner light that will never go out.
I love it. So if that's one of the game changers for you.
Yeah.
I know you've mentioned Lyle. Is there anybody else that you consider truly influential in your life? Doesn't have to be cannabis, just anybody who affected your outlook on life.
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah, she made me think about life differently. And, this goes along with my parents as well, because my parents raised me better than I could have ever wanted.
Awesome.
They both loved me. My parents are still fortunate enough to be together.
Congratulations.
My dad and my mom both were big influences on me. But also, my girlfriend, she definitely just made me think of life differently sometimes, where I would be so biased. Whatever the situation would be.
You already have your mind made up on something.
Yeah, and she just will make me think differently sometimes, whether if it's in extraction or just life, day-to-day life stuff. It's a great feeling, knowing that I have someone that influences me like that and I can go home to.
That's awesome.
And just like, I don't know, it's like a best friend. You can always lean back on your best friend.
Is there a particular thing that she helped you realize you want to share?
More of just within myself. Made me think about myself differently to where,
value yourself.
Yeah, like so like sometimes people don't appreciate themselves.
Oh, I absolutely been there.
Yeah, and I've been there too, to where, you know, you get in a rut, or you don't like to look at yourself in the mirror, or, you know, you think you're ugly, whatever it may be. Not saying that's it, but like whatever it may be.
I still see that fat guy in the mirror.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. And it's just like, to have a person that'll make you, she had made me realize, you know, you're beautiful despite whatever you're beating yourself up over or whatever. And, you know, the fact that there's someone that will still love me, you know, it's just like a good feeling.
She sees that essence of who you are.
Yeah.
And brings it out.
Definitely. That's the definition of a best friend, I guess.
Yeah. It's I wish we all had partners that brought out the good in us.
Yeah, she does bring out the best in me, I feel like.
There's a different little different question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a personal philosophy on life?
Yeah, Stephen King quote for you, I guess.
All right.
Get busy living or get busy dying. You know, that's a good way, I would say. You know, if you want to live, do it. If you want to be in a rut and not know what you're going to do, then do that. You know what I mean? Just be happy.
Embrace it.
Yeah, and, you know, that's why I'd say just keep living, you know, just keep going. I don't know if that's much of a philosophy or not, but
I think so. And like you said, you always strive to bring that happiness and that positivity into all of your actions.
Yeah.
So if you're busy living that positivity, you're bringing that out of everybody as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. I think we should all be striving to do things like that.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
I don't think it's all quite out there, but
yeah, you're absolutely right.
We just have, just thinking about the political spectrum right now and the fiasco going on, it's you can see those sides eating at each other instead of trying to bring out the best.
Did you vote?
I have already.
Actually, I just got my ballot in yesterday. I just got it yesterday.
I got my ballot, I think, last week. I put it in the mail, I think, on Friday.
Yeah, I got to fill mine out still. But my vote will be out there.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm very glad, and I hope everybody is voting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Let your voice be heard, you know?
Yeah, get out there. Get out there.
Well, thank you for this.
Yeah.
Are there any last words, any things you want to share, personal shout-outs, anything?
Just want to say thank you for inviting me to have this conversation with you. No, just thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate anybody that listens to this and, you know, thought it was funny, thought it was dumb, you know, even maybe took something from it. I don't know.
I hope so, too.
Thank you for listeing. And
thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, anytime.
I've really appreciated you. I really hope the people out there get to have a little bit better feel of just who is out there.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Just take your time.
Well, thank you again, and thank you all for joining us on Awakened Exchanges. You have a blessed day. Thank you again for listening to the podcast. I really do hope you enjoyed that conversation. I want to give a special thanks to all of our listeners. You are the reason I'm doing this. Please tell your friends about us. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you're listening, and please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Every podcast says that because it really does help spread the word. You can also support us on Patreon or connect with us on the social media of your choice. We are at Awakened Exchanges on Facebook and Instagram, and at Awaken Exchanges on Twitter. Thanks again, and have a blessed day.